All right, so today we're talking about visualizing student thinking in math using Lucid. We're going to start here with a math toolkit with a variety of templates. And I'm going to go ahead and grab this publish link so you can hop in here. And then this will give you access to all of these templates. You simply click on the link in the upper right-hand corner and then click on the hyperlink that pops up, and this will give you your own copy of that template to use in your course with students. So first off, just to kind of go over some ideas, you'll notice that we have instructors using this to practice decimals and fractions, factor trees, ordering numbers, triangle concept mapping, and you can see on and on as we go through. You've got number lines, you have rounding, so lots of these different templates. Now, to take a look at how you can utilize one of these templates, let's say, for example, we open up the fractions practice example. I'm going to click on the link in the upper right-hand corner, click on that hyperlink, and now I have access to this document. Now, you could use this document as is and share it out with your students through your learning management system, so each student gets their own copy. Or you can update this, change things so that students can do something similar, but with different practice.
First, let's look at how easy it is for you and your students to create a fraction series. Simply drag shapes onto the board and use the paint can to easily change the color of each shape. Use the image search to show and solve fraction word problems. Divide a whole into equal parts by dragging out a shape and using the line tool to divide it into equal parts. Finally, if you're looking to create a whole that students can fill in, you can easily do this by stacking the same shape together. Easily duplicate shapes by copying and pasting or holding down Option on a Mac or Alt on a PC and dragging out from the shape. Highlight all of the shapes and lock them by size and position. This allows you or your students to use the paint can to create the fractions. Now students can focus on the content rather than spending hours meticulously drawing out equal parts for each of their fractions.
Now, for the next one, we're going to go over some graphing examples. When you come here, you'll see that you can, it shows you how to create line graphs. It shows you how to create bar graphs. It shows you how to create picture graphs. And it shows you how you can use this for plotting. Now, these are all organized by tabs along the bottom. And for example, for the line graph, you'll notice that there are black dots on the upper left-hand side. So students can easily drag out a dot onto the canvas, resize it, place it onto the timeline, not the timeline, your graph, and then you can easily click on these and you can pull out a line to now make a connection between each of these different items on the board. So I can easily and quickly create this line graph. I'm going to drag it here, use my turn to pull it, and then connect these two. So we can easily be connecting all of these different dots using our lined graph. Then if we come over to the bar graph, I like this one really well because all you have to do is you can fill this in and then put a small section at the bottom for all of these. And then as students are creating this and adding in each of their thinking, all they need to do is click on the graph and drag it up to the correct amount, click on the graph, drag it up to the correct amount. And so it allows them to very quickly change and manipulate this graph. And you as the instructor can go in here and you can also, of course, edit all of the headers around along the bottom and you can edit the numbers going up the side. And then also what's nice with this is students could also edit this as well. You could give them a template that doesn't have any of this filled in. They're looking through the data and they are filling in all of the headers along the bottom and the left-hand side. And then for the picture graph, we love a good picture graph. So for this one, I'm going to show you a really fun tool to use for picture graphs. This is called our Infinite Cloner. Well, that's what I call it. It is under Quick Tools and it's actually called the Custom Shape Bank. If you don't learn anything today, the Custom Shape Bank is going to be your favorite friend inside of Lucid for using things like digital manipulatives where you want a lot of one item. So let's say we're doing this graphing activity here. I'm going to go ahead and delete these. And I'm going to click on my Quick Tools icon on the left-hand side. You have this in both Lucid Spark and Lucid Chart. I'm going to drag out a custom shape bank. And then let's say I want to have as many bananas, strawberries, lemons as I would like. All you have to do is drag the banana into the custom shape bank, drag the strawberry into the custom shape bank, drag the lemon into the custom shape bank, etc. So I'll drag all of these into my custom shape bank. And now that I have each of the different items that they're going to be looking for, I can delete these. I made, and you can use the custom shape bank right here. I can make it a little bit bigger so it's easier for the students to see what each of those shapes are. And then all the students need to do is when they are going around the class saying, what's your favorite animal? And they're doing, I mean, your favorite fruit, and they're doing their tallies or reading through a word problem and getting the data, then they can just drag out. We have 4 people who like bananas, and they can drag out 4 bananas onto the canvas. If I have 2 people who like strawberries, I can drag out 2 strawberries onto the canvas. So essentially, using the custom shape bank, you can search through the image search or images on your own computer. So let's say we're doing what's your favorite animal, cat or dogs. I can pull out the image of a cat, resize it so it'll fit inside of my bank, and drag it in. So now when students pull out, they get as many cats as they would like. So again, if you don't take anything from today's training, it is the custom shape bank library found under the Quick Tools icon on the left-hand side, and you'll see it right here at the bottom, your custom shape banks. All right, moving on. Now we're going to move into visualizing student thinking. This last one is a completely different way that you can utilize this inside of visual activities. Visual activities allow you to do drag and drop activities. And I have gone through, and in this one, it's kind of a template for dummies where I literally will walk through every single template, how I set it up, how to use it. And then, of course, here's my email if you ever need any help or have any questions. And the way that these are set up are they have some examples on using 10 frames, part whole, partitioning numbers, adding and subtracting within 20, hundreds, tens, and ones, and then numicon shape. So we have a variety of different items that you can practice. Now, for example, when you click on any of the links in the upper right-hand corner, these are giving you your own template. So same thing, if you're interested in 10 frames, you can click on the 10 frames link and it will take you to the 10 frames. So you can kind of utilize the table of contents to hop to any of these different items. And then when you click on this link, you'll notice that these work a little bit differently than everybody gets their own copy through an assignment in Canvas or through a force copy link. Each of these templates will come with an instructional video right here on the left-hand side. You can watch the video if you're just learning about this template, or you can just delete this template and add your own instruction for students. And then you'll notice when we come in here for this template, what we're doing, and let me move this to the back, arrange, send to back. It looks like my frame got in the way of my activity. But you'll notice that you can then fill this in and give students numbers to practice. So, for example, this one is more like kindergarten, maybe some first grade activities. I will say, all right, I want you to build the number 4. I want you to build the number 6. I want you to build the number 2. And I want you to build the number 9. Now, one key thing is when I'm done with this, I want to make sure and hit the Save Changes in the upper right-hand corner. This will save the changes for this activity. And now, if I only want students to get in and do this one activity, I can click the Share button in the upper right-hand corner. Make sure that you've opened it up to have either any logged in user or anyone with the link. And when you copy that link, now I'll go into a different profile so you can see what this looks like. And I'll also include it in chat in case you want to come in here. So now when you click on this link, when students click on this link, they'll get a big blue start button in the middle of their screen. They'll click on the big blue start button, and then you'll notice they can drag out as many of these dots as they want to build each of these numbers. So I can drag out 1, drag out 2, drag out 3, drag out 4, and then again, I can do it to build 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Although I'm noticing I'm doing this, we start at the top, rookie move. I'm clearly having allergy seasons messing with my brain just a smidge. And then drag out 2, 1, 2, and drag out 9. So if you're doing it on your end, when you're done, go ahead and click the big blue submit button at the bottom. And what's cool about these are it will bring everybody in your class's activity into a results page. So now when I come back in, I can click on view results. I can see it ticked up to 1. So one of my students has submitted this activity. I will click on the view results, and as more come in, each of the students' names, if they logged in, will be listed down the left-hand side. If I just had anyone with the link, this is especially for your kindergarten students. I might not need I don't need you to log in. I don't want that to be a barrier. So I'll just have anyone with the link. So you come in, it doesn't require you to log in. You can do the activity. I won't be able to see particularly then what each student did by name, but I can get an overview of how my class is working because this will give you an overview. So if this looks mostly correct after 25 people who have turned this in, then the majority of my students are getting this correct, and I don't need to reteach this in the next lesson. So it's a great, fun way to give students a way to get started with this. Now, to look at another example, we'll go into something a little bit more different. Let's say that we're using now partitioning numbers using same visual activities, but with Unifix cubes. So for this one, again, I'm going to click on the icon in the upper right-hand corner, click on the link. It will bring me into this activity. And then again, this is my own version. So it's meant to be customized. So you'll see again, here is a video talking about the template. And then in here, I can, and my frames are for some reason in this template. We love when this happens. Sometimes you might have to do a right click, arrange, and send your frame to the back, or just delete your frame. But I like frames because they'll give students, if you want them in this main board, like I'm going to do for this one, you can use frames to navigate each of the activities. So I can come in here and I'm going to say for this number, I want you to show me 24. For this one, I want to see 162. And then again, let's say I want 2 more practices. I'm just going to copy and paste. So I will get more of this template. And then I will go ahead and add, this is going to be 38 and maybe 131. Now, when I'm done, I'll want to come in and hit save, 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 and save. So each of these have been saved. And then I might rename each of these at the top. Instead of saying tens and ones, I'm going to say number one up here, come to my second one, which actually will probably be my tens, and make that number two. Come to my next one and name that number three. Come down to my last one and name it number four. And one last thing, but you'll see in my table of contents, I now have number one, number two, number three, number four. So that'll help students navigate through. And I notice they're out of order, so I'm just going to drag them so they're in a nice sequential order in my table of contents. I'm going to delete this intro video because this is for the teacher, not for students. They don't need it. And then one last thing I'm going to do is, since they're getting in here, I'm going to go ahead and lock all of these activities because I don't want them to accidentally move, delete, or change any of these while they're going in. I just want them to click the big blue start button, work on the activity, come out, click the next start button, work on the activity, come out. And so before I send this link to students, or before I embed this on a Canvas page for the students to come in collaboratively to work on this, one last step, I'm going to click the three people in the upper right-hand corner, come down to make me a facilitator, come over to controls, and then I'm just going to toggle all of these on. I do this anytime I'm collaborating with students inside of Lucid. Now, students can't lock and unlock my items. They can't start timers. So it gives them a little bit more access to a few less features that are meant more for the teacher. Now I will go ahead and share this with you so you can explore it like a student. So I'm going to just come to the big blue share button in the upper right hand corner, turn this share link on, and again, I can make it anyone within my email domain, any logged in user, so their names will come in, or if they're younger grades and you don't want them to be logging in, you can hit anyone with the link. However, again, if you have access to Canvas or another learning management system, you might be able to embed it, especially in Canvas, right there on the Canvas page. So you wouldn't need to link share. Students could access it through that Canvas integration. And let me know in the chat if you're new, you have Canvas and you're new to that integration. I can give you, I can walk you through what that process would look like as well. But I'm going to go ahead and click the copy the link for anyone with the link in case you don't have a Lucid account yet. Hit copy, and then go ahead and plop that in, send it out to students. I put it in the chat so you could explore it as if you were a student. And once you're in here, again, I have frames around these. So you would click the table of contents, click number one, number two, number three, number four. And as you're going through, you click start. And in here, you'll pull out two tens from my resource bar and four ones from my bar. And then I'll go ahead and click submit. And then I can use the handy dandy back button in the upper left-hand corner to go back to my main board. And then using my table of contents or just navigating on the canvas, I can go in and now build each of the other activities as well. And the nice thing about visual activities is you can view those results in one compiled place to see an average of what the class is doing and how they are responding. So I really like the visual activities for kind of pulling those results all into one place. Now, like I mentioned before, if you wanted to put either of these activities into Canvas, I will show you two different ways that you could do this. So I'm going to come into my teacher account and navigate to Canvas. And let's say for my first example, I wanted each student to get their own copy and turn it in through SpeedGrader in Canvas. I would go into my Canvas course. I don't want it to be collaborative. I want everybody to get their own. So I'm going to go into an assignment page and I'm going to name my page and I'm going to kind of look through. Let's say we wanted to do this fraction activity. So I'm going to quickly grab a share link to share it with my other account. So I have my fraction activity. I've created it, I've customized it from my toolkit. Now I want each student to get their own. I'm going to change these back to zeros. I don't want them to have the answers. Okay. And now when I go into Canvas, I will name it Fractions Review. I can add instructions in the rich content editor. And I'm going to come down to submission type and select Lucid because I want each student to get their own copy of that fraction activity to work on and turn in. So from in here, I will go ahead. This is a Lucid chart activity. I will select Lucid chart, go to my documents because I have a template I would like to attach, locate in my dashboard the template I would like to send out to students. Let me make sure that I've file, make a copy. Okay. Since I was sharing that, it might not have popped in to my dashboard. Perfect. So now here it is. It is now saved in my documents. I will click on it, hit select, and now when I save this, each student will get their own copy of this activity to complete by themselves on the Canvas page. And when you go into SpeedGrader as the instructor, you'll see each student's name inside of SpeedGrader like you're used to. You'll see what they turned in, and you'll be able to provide a grade or feedback through SpeedGrader. Now, let's say you wanted to use some of these more collaborative activities. For example, maybe you wanted to use let me find my bananas again. Maybe I wanted to share, oh, here it is, this activity with my students, the picture graphing. There you are. Okay. To share. Okay, so here is my picture graph. And for this one, I don't want each student to get their own copy. I want us to do this together. Now, first I'm going to erase all my cats. We don't need cats. And I'm going to erase my filled in bananas. And I don't need this section. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that. So now that my template is ready to go, I have my custom shapes. I also don't need the line graph. I'm going to go ahead and delete. I don't need the bar graph. I'm going to delete that tab. I don't need the plotting. So I'm going to right click and delete. So all I'm left with is my picture graph. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make a copy of this so it's fresh. Maybe say that I'm going to use this on 9/25/25 tomorrow. And now I want to put it into Canvas. So when everybody goes there, we are going to complete this together and everybody is going to pick their favorite, drag it on. So they'll really only be dragging out once because they're just telling the group what theirs is. So to put this collaborative graph into Canvas, I'm going to go to Pages because I'm not going to give it a grade. It's just a self-start in the morning. I'm going to go to Pages and I'm going to add, this is going to be our picture graph. And then I'm going to use the black L from the rich content editor to embed this blank picture graph onto the canvas. So I will go ahead down and find the picture graph, hit continue. I want students to be able to edit, so I'm going to insert. And now when I publish this, everybody who comes to this Canvas page in their course will be able to see the same picture graph. They will be able to drag out their response. My favorite is watermelon, so I'm going to drag out a watermelon. Somebody else might drag out a banana and put it there. So you'll start to see everybody's responses and just reminding students. You can probably have this also modeling, have it on the board so everybody sees it. Then students are dragging it out on their device. And so very quickly, in about 2 or 3 minutes, you'll see this bar graph very quickly be built. Everybody's dragging out one icon to share their feelings about that. And then you can analyze that and say, as a class, we like bananas the most. As a class, we like pears the most, etc. So those are two ways you can share. You can share collaboratively, so everybody's working on the same one together using the black L from the rich content editor, or you can give each student their own copy by using the Lucid submission type. All right, I hope that helps you, and I will make sure to send out all of these links in a follow-up so you have access to all of these templates we've gone over today.
First, let's take a look at a few classroom examples. Challenge students to create plane and geometric shapes using lines and shapes. Here, students are able to draw out, visualize, and solve perimeter and area problems using the grid feature in Lucid Chart. Students can easily draw and plot lines, segments, and rays. Now that you've seen a few examples of how teachers and students use Lucid Chart to support geometry practice, let's go over a few tips. Look through and set your grid settings. Click on View, Grid, Grid Settings. Look through and make the selections to best support your activity. Click on any shape or line and use the toolbar to customize its color and style. Need straight instead of rounded corners? Select shape options from the toolbar. These were just a few examples of how you can use Lucid to support your math instruction. Search math in the template library to look through even more ideas.